Let me read to you a passage from the second chapter of St. Luke's Gospel, verses 15 to 20. It's the Gospel for the Mass at dawn on Christmas Day, December the 25th. St. Luke writes, "When the angels went away from them to heaven, the shepherds said to one another, 'Let us go then to Bethlehem, to see this thing that has taken place, which the Lord has made known to us.' So they went in haste and found Mary and Joseph and the infant lying in the manger. When they saw this, they made known the message that had been told them about this child. All who heard it were amazed by what had been told them by the shepherds. And Mary kept all these things, reflecting on them in her heart. Then the shepherds returned, glorifying and praising God for all they had heard and seen, just as it had been told to them." That's from the second chapter of St. Luke's Gospel, verses 15 to 20, which is the Gospel for the Mass at dawn on Christmas Day. What does it suggest to us? Well, let me begin this way. There have often been reports of a moral shift in society, indeed of a moral decline. For instance, years ago, on December the 22nd, 2004, there appeared an article in the Sydney Morning Herald, written by Chris McGillian on page 13, which reported the findings of a research institute of ethics in California, USA. This institute had been monitoring the moral attitudes of American high school students for more than 20 years. It found that the number of students admitting to cheating, stealing, and lying had climbed significantly during that period. Well, that related merely to a population of students, without touching the moral attitudes of society at large. But so it is that many who discount education in religion have called for a greater emphasis on education in moral values. Sadly, many deny religion, but few would deny the importance of at least ethics. The challenge lies in determining a correct ethical system. Ethics is a central interest in much of investigative reporting. All admit that ethics is central to family life, the school, the workplace, business, politics, recreation, wherever man acts in society. The danger in the modern era lies in reducing ethics to the useful and in dismissing religion, including revealed religion, as being unnecessary for an ethical life. It is one thing to have the intellectual capacity to develop an ethical system, and even to have a good education in ethical behavior. It's quite another to have the character and the virtue to live up to it. A child who reaches the age of reason knows by then many things that are right and wrong. He has been helped by the education in moral values given to him by his parents and hopefully by his teachers. But he has to have the qualities of character, which is to say sufficient virtue to know and judge what is right, to choose to do it, and then to persevere virtuously in that choice. The one without this moral character or virtue may know what is right, at least vaguely, but will not act accordingly. Further, our conscience tells us that beyond knowing and doing right actions, we ought to seek to be good in our inmost selves. We're called to be good in the core of our being. That is to say, we are called to do the right thing for the right motive ultimately being the love of God. But God has revealed that we are born into a morally wounded condition, which makes it impossible for us of our own powers to achieve the full moral goodness to which we are called. Further, We are called, and our conscience intimates it to us, to communion with our Maker. That is to say, paradoxically, a proper ethic will include religion. Religion itself is part of the good life which our conscience recognizes as required of us and as necessary for our full humanity. But St. Paul tells us that of ourselves we are under the power of sin. We cannot reach the goals we know we are called to attain, which is inner moral goodness and communion with God. This is something greater than simply doing the right thing, because we can do the right thing, as it were, for the wrong reasons, for the wrong motives. A person can be bad in intent while doing what appears to be good. This is why God sent his Son to become man, to be born in a stable at Bethlehem, to grow up, to suffer, to die, and to rise again. He did this in order to enable us not only to do what is good, but to be good, good with a share in his own goodness, holy with a share in his own holiness. He did all this to enable us to become God's children, living with his own life now and in the life hereafter. By our baptism, we have been granted a share in his own divine life, and with that share in his life, we have been given the spark of divine goodness that we must fan into a flame, so that it completely fills our being, overcoming sin and transforming us into the image of Jesus. Christ is the image of the Father, and we are called to be transformed into the image of Christ, not just in respect to our actions, but at the level of our inmost mind and heart. Well, Christmas offers us the opportunity to welcome Christ as the Lord of every aspect of our lives. Let us ask him to lead us on to genuine goodness and holiness of life in his likeness. Let us look to Mary as the perfect Christian, the mother of our Redeemer, who is utterly filled with grace and goodness. She points to what we should be striving for, goodness and holiness of mind and heart and soul, by the loving fulfillment of God's will. We have to aim at this daily. We must strive to be consistently holy. This is a long and hard battle, the struggle of a lifetime, and every day counts. Let us take up that challenge, striving with the Holy Family of Bethlehem, of Nazareth, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph as our daily model. Christmas Day constitutes an opportunity of a new beginning, not only in respect to a new year, but a new beginning in our religious and moral life. Christ is our model and our means. He is the way, the truth, and the life. Let us receive him into our hearts, resolving to follow generously in his footsteps.